Hello everyone, it's Creepy Nee and Tina.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's just having a great day and that you guys are in the best of health.
Yes, with health, as always, being most important. So today, let's hit them with something that, I would think would be something everybody would think about, but sometimes not so much. What do you give up to get what you want? And when we're talking about that, what are we talking about? We're talking about the life in the U.S. that you're used to, and then you decide you want beach life in the DR, or you decide, you know what, I'm going to start looking at Portugal, and what does life, beach life, coast life, on the coast, I would say, look like in Portugal? And the ever-loving question that I get, why is it so cheap to live in the DR in Portugal, right? I get all these questions all the time. I tell you, it's like constant. Are all these YouTubers on here lying to us, right? They're lying about how much they spend. What's the catch? What are you not telling us? Are you being truthful? The catch is simple to figure out, I think, but maybe not. You have to look at these things that we're going to go over right now. Ready?
Exactly.
All right. So people don't look at citizenship and what does it cost, meaning not the cost of what it's going to do for the whole procedure, but how much do I have to have? We get that question a million times. How much income do I have to bring in to come to the DR? And when I tell them, I say this. So let me start with that. To get citizenship in the DR, you only need to bring in a revenue for non-retirees of $2,000 a month, right? And then $250 for every dependent after that. Now, if you're retiring, it's $1,500 a month and then $250 per dependent, meaning your wife, your children, whatever. So why such a low amount? Because we know life in the U.S., you could never live on $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Please, you'll be broke as you can be.
Right. So why such a low amount? That's why people always think that it's a lie. Well, here it is. You're not thinking, because the cost of living and wages and healthcare costs in the DR is vastly different than in the U.S. They are not up to the same standards or rates of pay that they are in the United States. Meaning, if, like we've said before, the average wage for a Dominican worker can vary between $140 to $600 per month. So then we're talking they're making $1,680 a year, or they're making $7,260 a year. Now we know that even minimum wage, you don't make that least amount of money.
Right, you make more than that.
Right. So when you're sitting there and you're looking at the low cost of wages and then the income of an average Dominican person, it is much lower than that. So they don't require that much more, although they do require much more, because $1,500 is a lot to them, and $2,000.
Yeah, it is a lot.
For you to at least bring that in. Now, why do they make you? That's why people say, why they got to know how much I bring in? Why? And I'm like, it's easy. They need to know that you're not going to be a burden on the national system, and that you can be a contributor to local economy, meaning you can pay taxes, you can do everything that's not going to drain, because they already have enough issues with draining the economy, as does the United States of America. I mean, how many people are on welfare and aid and, disability? There's enough that we are barely taking care of our own people. We should be doing better care of our own people.
Right.
So they need to concentrate on taking care of their own people. They need to know that when you come to retire or to live, you can take care of yourself.
Right, absolutely. You got to be self-sufficient. That's basically what they want.
Right.
You to be self-sufficient. Handle your own business.
Right. And now this is where I say, so with that, look at the other edge of the coin. When we said in the beginning that, what do you give up? Well, this is why we caution people when you live and move to the DR about safety and security of you and your belongings. Because when you move into a country that is hard hit like that, harder hit than the United States, and right now we have seen theft, robbery, and homicide go crazy in the United States. So just imagine that is happening in the DR as well, because you're getting struggle, deprivation, right? Low wages, food insecurity, and then the nasty little thing called envy, wanting bigger and better.
Right.
So when you put all that into the mixing pot, this is why we say that there's always going to be an increase in crime, and no matter what country you move to, when low wages play a factor. So what's one of the catches? That's one of the catches. Don't look a golden egg and the goose, right? And don't look at the whole thing. Like, there is a reason you're getting that low amount of income that you need to bring in. So that may be one of the things you want to look at. So also, to get these too good to be true prices, you have to make sure when you're in a country like that, that you are not flashy. You have to have increased security at home. We talk about that all the time.
Right. And if you flashy, you putting a target on your back. And you know what, Tina? Even if you're in the United States and you flashy, they'll still get you. Because a lot of people are not doing good now these days. They're just doing bad. It's terrible.
Yeah. So you always have to watch, I say, your surroundings and the people who you allow into your circle, because you never really know. I say this to the kids all the time, and my kids live in Las Vegas. You never know who's getting around you and why.
Right.
So nothing is free. You gotta keep your eye going. So you're also required to have an amount of money inside of a Portuguese bank. So that's a lot different than the Dominican Republic.
Right.
In the DR, you don't even have to have a Dominican bank. It helps. I thought it makes things easier. You avoid a lot of fees and what do they call that? Currency exchange fees and things like that.
Right.
But you're not required to have that. The average salary in Portugal is higher. So then they're going to require, of course, retirees to have a lot more than what their people have.
Right.
So the average salary in Portugal is about $2,367 a month. So they already monthly make a lot more than people in the Dominican Republic.
Right, sure do.
Annually, they make, on the low end, $28,400 a year. And they have free national health care. So when you become privy to that free national health care as residents, like we do, that's why everybody says, well, the tax is high. Well, yes, the tax is high because they have to compensate for paying everybody's medical fees, because it's medical. It's not vision or dental, but it is medical. So number two, the second thing that I think people never ever pay attention to, police shakedowns. I say that all the time. People are like, are they real? And I say, yes. And it's not if it's going to happen, it's when is it going to happen. And
that's a real thing. I was with my buddy. We were coming from the north, Puerto Plata. And there's some people that even the regular people that will shake you down. They put ropes in the road. They want you to stop, but you got to keep right on driving through it. Because they just want money from you. That's why, wheelchair, whatever, they want money from you because they're broke.
Right. And here in Portugal, it's the fear of fines. They will fine you to death, and the fines are very, very high. But it's only because you're breaking the law. So things like not having a car properly registered, 250 euros. So we're talking like 300 and some American dollars. It's high. Having improper driver's license information, something that you would think would be so small, can run you anywhere from 60 euros to 300 euros. So they don't play with the law around here. In the DR, there's a lot of things that you could kind of get away with. Like, you didn't even have to have a Dominican license to drive. You could drive on your American license.
Right.
That you can only do here for 3 months, and then you have to get a Portuguese license. So there's some laws that they have in place, of course, and obviously, so that the government can make the money on, getting you registered and this and that, but also to make sure that you are abiding by the law. You've seen some of our videos. The toll roads and the roadways are beautiful, but you pay for it because the toll roads are a little bit higher priced than driving free in the Dominican Republic.
Right.
But I would honestly rather pay for paved roads.
Because you can get, it's nice and smooth. You can get there a lot faster
and safer. Remember, I was always worried if you hit one of those potholes, the wheel was going to pop.
Oh my God. I thought we was going to ride off the cliff one time. We was going up the north. Yeah. And
here, the police are not going to stop you just to give you a hard time. They're actually very helpful and approachable. It's just don't break the law. So 3, a lot of things that people don't think about, and they're like, well, what's the plus and the minus, is flights. How inexpensive, how long, how expensive, or how short is that flight? So you got to look at, if I need to get back to someone in the United States, like if we had to get back to one of the kids or whatever, how long does it take and how much is it going to take?
Right.
So flights are cheaper, of course, and quicker to the DR. So a lot of people choose that because they have to do a lot of back and forth. But if you're like us and you don't really do a lot of back and forth, that's not an issue.
Right.
And if you're a good, like I say, steward of your money, then it won't matter how much it costs because you should have it saved. That's my philosophy. But flights to the DR, to JFK, you were saying, right?
From JFK to the DR.
Is like a 3-hour, 49-minute flight. And one way it's about $325, sometimes more, sometimes less, but that's relatively inexpensive. In Portugal, a flight from here to JFK is 7 hours and 25 minutes. So not a quick hop and go.
Right.
That's just to JFK. And tickets can cost for one way anywhere $1,200 and up, unless you get a really great sale.
Right.
So that's one thing that's definitely going to play a factor while you're thinking about that. And you're like, well, why is it so cheap? I want to move to Portugal. Okay, but remember, you better be saving for that flight. So another thing that a lot of people say that there's a reason they want to retire, and but they don't really think through, is beach living. Living near the beach in the DR can be extremely affordable, and it's a lot cheaper than Portugal. But that's because if you look at the towns, so this is what I always say, I love a beautiful beach like the next person, but I don't want to have to go through literally the dirtiest, most underdeveloped city to get to that beach. I enjoy when if I've traveled all the way to a beach, to enjoy the beach town, meaning I want to go shopping, I want to go to the restaurants, I want to hang out at the park, I want to be able to do things in a fully developed beach town.
Right, absolutely.
Because, and that's just me, everyone's not the same, but I enjoy that because that's what I'm used to when we'd go to California, right? We'd go to Laguna Beach, we'd go to Monterey, Newport, yes, Huntington, and there's always a ton of things where you'd spend the day and it was worth the day out and you had a lot of fun.
Right.
But sometimes in the DR, you see all these videos, and I always laugh because they're going through these dirt roads. They're talking about this beautiful, beautiful beach, but is anybody paying attention to what you're driving through to get there? I mean, maybe it's just me. And I know before you start getting your fingers ready to tell me I'm slamming, where's the lie? I'm not lying.
And you got to watch your stuff because, I mean, you know, with the environment that the peddlers and your stuff, you just got to watch everything because your camera can come up missing, your watch can come up missing. Just got to watch everything. You got to be more on security, more on alert.
Right. And so that I can be equal, I'll tell you this. Portugal, the beach towns, the homes over there, they're expensive. They're not cheap. So I will tell you, it's not all daisies either, because the closer you get to the beach, the higher the price.
Right, just like in the States.
We were at Portimao, and you said, hey, let's pop into this real estate agency. Let's look at these homes that are listed. And the cheapest home, which was really tiny, was $250,000, and it was going all the way up to over 300 and some thousand. And I said, you can just live a few kilometers away, live in another city, brew next to it, and drive to the beach whenever you want. You'll save yourself tons of money, like thousands, just living 20 minutes, 15 minutes away, which is what we do. We live 15, 20. So I don't have to stare at the ocean all day long. I mean, if you want that, you got to pay for it here in Portugal. So that's the catch about Portugal. I would always say that watch the videos that we done, like we did the one in Portimao where we did the live, so that they can see how developed, back to what I was saying earlier, how developed the area was, how beautiful and clean it was, how well kept it is, how much the businesses were thriving. You didn't see not one peddler on the beach or surrounding area, did you?
I seen one guy, but I mean, he was just like in and out because I mean, they ain't supposed to do that like they do in other places. Yeah,
they don't allow it in Portugal. And the next thing is tax. Right. So I know that's what everybody's going to say. There it is. So in DR, the impuesto, or the tax, is 18%. And then you have this thing called service charge. Everybody always thinks it's a tip. It is not. It's not a tip. It is the service charge tax that's on there, and it's 10%. So in Portugal, we have VAT, that's our tax, and that is 23%. So that's the caveat. Why is it so cheap? Well, because there's tax. But when we give our truths on prices, how much we've paid, on bills, on anything, I make sure that that's all included. So when you hear the price that we paid, it's already got the tax, the VAT, right? It's already in there. I don't say, oh, it only cost $15, but then I don't tell you that I paid like $7 more in tax. I include the tax.
Right.
And when it's included the tip, I also say, and with tip. So our prices are truthful and real. Every price that we quote from our cost of living has the VAT, and so does the restaurant, stores that we've shopped in. So that goes to the question that everybody asks about, are they being truthful? Are you being transparent? Are you telling us everything? I would think you would already know that tax would play in a part. I would think that you would always look at communities in a whole and see how developed and how clean and how great and secure everything is before. But like I said, people forget about things like flights and little things like that. How long will it be? How much will it be? So just remember that change is inevitable. You must move within the time and seasons to stay on course. That can range from fundamental to incidental, and flexibility is always the order of the day. Being rigid only causes frustration and failure in current situations or when you're planning for your future.
So, if you love lots of taxes, cost of living, stay in the States. But if you want to get away from that stuff, Dominican Republic, come to Europe, or there's some other places that will give you a break and you can live your best life.
But look at everything.
Get the whole big picture.
Yeah, don't just look at one cost of living video and then change your whole life, because it might not be for you. We see people come and go all the time because of that.
All the time. All the time. So, in the meantime, with 20 time, always remember that life is to be enjoyed.
Yes, so always make sure to hit that subscribe, hit that notifications bell, give this and all videos a thumbs up, because hitting that subscribe and giving that thumbs up is a free and easy way for you guys to patron the channel so we can keep bringing you guys great content like this. Money matters. And remember that all information always is underneath every video.
So until the next video,